Hello everyone, welcome back. Part 3 here of this public land scouting video. We're headed back out on the same piece we've been before. It's been about 3 weeks, a little over 3 weeks since we were out here last. We should have a lot of trail cam videos. Gonna go check those, probably moving around a little bit. We're about a month and a half from the season here, so we're gonna start dialing in on what we think we're gonna do during the season. And we're gonna see if we can find some more sign in a couple places we haven't checked out. So let's head out there, see what we can find.
Well, great start to the day. Very first camera I forgot to turn on. So I won't show you the footage of me opening that one. I'm trying to keep this semi-family friendly. For all I know it's a fucking zebra or something. We got some pictures on this one. So we got this handy little card reader. So this time we'll read them right here and see what we got on it. Not only do I want to see if deer are going north and south on this trail instead of east and west, but I want to see what kind of human activity we got back here. Okay, we'll start here on cam 1. We got a doe here. I don't see her fawn with her, but I'm kind of guessing that's that same doe that we had on here a whole bunch on the last update. Next one's a pretty cool looking buck. You'll see him a little bit better in this next video. He's got a really cool split brow tine on that left side. Really neat looking deer, pretty tall. Looks like he's fairly wide. Yeah, that's an exciting one to see on here. He's going to be a nice deer here in 6 weeks or so when the season opens. Not too concerned that he's showing up at night. Just want to know kind of that he's in the area. That transition will move things around a little bit, and hopefully he ends up spending a little more time in this area as we get deeper into the fall. Another doe on that one. This looks like a pair of young bucks. A little spike or a fork horn in the back. And you can just see when he moves through, this is a little spike as well. There's one of them again. He does have a little brow tine starting to poke out, you can see. So I guess he's not they looked like tall spikes on that first one, but little forkies. Another doe. Still no fawn. That doe and fawn were on this so often on that first video, and we haven't had them yet. It's interesting. There's one of those young guys again. Here you can get a little better view of his brow tines too. Here's another pretty nice buck. Not a huge body on him yet, but got a nice wide set of antlers on him. You can kind of see there where he turns how wide he is. He's not as tall as that first buck. Definitely a nice looking deer. Well, that was kind of cool. Those two nicer bucks. The first one had to have been about right where I'm standing here, is right under the tree, it looked like, which is pretty cool. He had that split brow tine on his left. I thought was neat. That second one was coming right down that edge, and that's that edge we started walking down the very first video I made back here. Had a bunch of different rubs on it and stuff, and then way out that way is where those buck beds were out on that point. I don't remember how much you saw in the first video because we lost the card working on us at that point, but out on that point where we found some bedding. We also had our friend from our last video was in here a couple times, so he's definitely putting in a lot of work. Scouting this. But it's interesting to see that second buck, and there were two different bucks because it looked like that first one had a split brow tine on his left side and that second one didn't. So there were two different bucks, fairly similar looking. Second one was a little smaller, but I'd be kidding you if I told you I'd let either one of them pass without shooting them. I know that second one especially I think was a younger buck. A lot of people would pass on that. Just keeping it real with you, I would not. That one being at night, not really a big thing to me. I just want to kind of know they're in the area. Like we've kind of talked, they're going to start transitioning where their home areas are right away anyway. So we just kind of want to know what's in the area at this point. And, you know, even if they're not home ranging right here, we should have an opportunity in, you know, mid-late October when they start roaming a little bit, getting ready for the rut. With all these does back here, we should have some bucks cruising through here, probably along the river, I'm guessing, because, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like much is using this trail other than people. So let's grab this camera and we'll keep moving. This is the one that was on the creek crossing. So these might be kind of neat. It's coming out of that grass, same kind of directional movement as those deer were on that last one. Most of them anyway. So it'll be interesting to see what we got here. This cam 2 is pretty disappointing to me. We had a lot of sign crossing the creek here. This first video, I don't actually see anything. I don't know if it's catching some
sun flares. I couldn't see anything in it. I left it in there in case somebody else sees something. If you see what I'm missing, post it down below, but I don't think there's anything in this one. And then the next one is just a doe and a fawn across the creek here. I don't know if this tree here is blocking that crossing too much. That crossing is right down here somewhere. And maybe we're just not picking them up, but they should be walking right through here. So I probably didn't place this camera very well when I hung it last time is my best guess. Because like I've talked a couple times in the video, we had 2 inches of rain just before this, and there were fresh tracks in the mud here. So definitely had something walk through recently, and it has not showed up. Nothing showed up on camera. So not sure what happened there. A little disappointing, but hopefully we got that one fixed for next time.
That was really strange, only having that one picture of those couple of does on here, one video. So I'm not sure what the deal was. If something wasn't working right, there's a few fresh tracks down here. So I don't know if this was blocking a lot of the movement. I'm gonna move this one anyway. I'm gonna treat it like not a lot of deer are using this. I question that. It rained like 2 inches just a couple days ago, so this is up a little bit, but I'm thinking this is probably where I'll end up going. Ooh, a little chilly. I'm thinking this is probably where I'll end up going hunting season, just to get away from the crowd. So much for coming back here to get away from hunters, huh? Guess somebody else had the same idea. It's a nice area, I can see why, and I think there's gonna be something up ahead that'll make even more sense. This is pretty neat. We're way back in this big area of hardwoods, and there's an old grub right there. We're just coming up to this corner, this old clear cut. Shouldn't call it an old clear cut, brand new clear cut. I don't know exactly when it happened, but it doesn't even show up on most aerials. Like my Onyx and stuff doesn't have it. But we got new aerials on some of the county GIS stuff, and I was looking at that the other day and happened to notice it back here. It's a nice trail right along the outside edge here. I'm gonna walk the edge of this and then pick a spot or two for some cameras, and we'll see what's back here. So kind of exciting. Glad I found this. Gonna put a trail camera on this corner. It's a little further back in than I would like, but with the with this being public, I'm limited on how many modifications I can make, to get myself a clear line of sight through some of these that are closer to the edge. So we'll see what we get here. There's a stick hanging down here. I'm gonna do a little mock scrape below it here too, just to try and draw extra little bit of attention to this corner right here where they're walking. Pretty nice size set of buck tracks. Going across here. Third trail camera up. I followed that creek crossing we were just on with that buck track is right back there. And all those doe tracks are from the last couple days because we just had like 2 inches of rain in the last 3 or 4 days. So quite a bit of traffic through there. It kind of spreads out when you get up in here. There's 3 or 4 trails, and then right here it runs into this one I'm on, going north-south. So we're just going to put this up at the intersection and see what everything's kind of doing here and see what the movement is through here. This is the type of spot where a little later in the year, what I want to find is a trail running north-south type like this, intersecting a lot of these trails where those bucks can cruise through and sort of check. So this might be one I explore a little more, depending on what we find here. Well, that'll do it for this one. A little bit disappointed we didn't find a little more sign today, but a few things I'm excited about. It's pretty clear if you followed along with all 3 videos, and I will put a little card for the up here somewhere for the first 2 videos. The first video up in the corner, it's pretty clear that most of the buck sign out here, at least in the areas I've been through, is out in those little islands of trees way out on the end of that grass, which is not super shocking. But I was hoping to find a little more when I went back into the woods and back to that river and back to the edges back there. So good to know. I've actually got a somewhat of a plan already what I'm going to do with hunting season. It's nice to know there's a lot of does out here too. I do have a doe tag in this county for bow season this year, so early on, if I'm not seeing a lot of bucks, we'll just harvest the doe and get the meat wagon going. So anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. We got about a mile back to the car. We'll see you next time.